All right, we are doing a little bit of logging today. We're down here at Knox Farm and Feed again. I've talked about them before. Good friends of mine, little feed store here in Porter. And I was here yesterday to pick up one of my beehives that died out from the class, but he had this one little dead post oak, and I just kind of teased him. I said, hey, whenever you're ready to cut that post oak down, holler. And he said, oh, you want it? I said, well, that one's kind of small, to be honest with you. And he's like, man, if you want it, you can have them all. And I've looked around his property before, and I was like, this whole place is post oak. And so I was like, well, you're not talking like all the live ones, right? He said, well, no. He said, but I've got 4 or 5 that are dead standing. So there's a little one, which I'll show you later. Honestly, it's firewood. It's just too small. But then he's got these 2 here behind me. They're both bigger. They're not huge, maybe 16, 18 inches. He's got another one. Oh, let me see if I can get it in the film here. I don't know if it's standing right back here. With the little one's right here on the corner of the goat pen there. This is all backwards. Let's mess with it. Anyway, there's another big one back here in the middle, and then there's another big one back here on the tree line. Yeah, whatever. Back there on the far. Oh, here we go. Look, now I can see. Okay, so this one here, that's the little dead one. There's another bigger one right here that's about 20 inch. And then there's a great big one back here. It's about 24 inches, but it's been dead standing for about 2 years. And so it's already pretty punky on the outside. The sapwood's all rotted out, but it may still have a good core. We're gonna take it down and just get a look at it and see. But we're gonna start with these 2 here. Chuck's going to get his tractor and a rope so we can lay them out here into the clearing. I'm gonna be cutting the logs out of them, anything I wanna take. And then the rest he's gonna just pile up and burn for firewood. So let's get after it. So we got the first 2 down already. Honestly, I haven't even paid attention to the time, but it's going pretty quick. Chuck's snagging the rest of the debris from the top of the second one out. There's one more little chunk over there, just a little crotch section I'm gonna take. Who knows, it's not gonna be anything special, but maybe if I can slab it out and get a little something for it. But here's 3 logs we've got so far. And let's see, this one and that one came out of the second tree, and this was the first tree. I'd marked it at 10.6, and then I decided to just go for it and just left it 21 feet long. Chuck's tractor was able to pick it up, so there's no sense in bucking it in half if you don't have to. Let me grab a tape measure and then we'll measure them. All right, so this first one, 21 foot, is, just throw it in the middle. Yeah, it doesn't matter. So this one is, well, we'll go across the long axis because it's easier. That's 19 inches on the long axis. It's probably about 16, 17 on the short axis. This one here is about 16 on the short axis. And that one, yeah, that's not much. Here's that little crotch I was talking about. It's just a little basic Y, but there might be something fun in there. We'll just have to see what we can get. So this part of the yard is done, and I'm not sure, this may be all my truck or my trailer can carry. I don't have any way of knowing how heavy these logs are, but Chuck said his front end loader basically maxes out at 2,000 pounds at 2 tons or at a ton, but he's been picking these up no problem. So I don't think maybe 1,000 pounds, maybe at most, because they've been dead standing, so they're already kind of dried out. But we're gonna move over there and see what else we can get. At least try to get them all on the ground today and bucked out if I can't take them all home. I don't think I'll be able to. I know I won't be able to. But we're gonna at least get them all on the ground. tell you, I'll admit, the wedge I cut served absolutely no purpose. I'm terrible at cutting wedges. I always get, look at that, now it breaks out. Man, I have such a hard time getting the angle just right, but you can see the tree basically fell perpendicular to the wedge, but it still helped because basically my wedge, instead of being a full wedge, it was 2 relief cuts, so that gave it room to, it kind of started to lean that way, but the weight of the limbs was pulling it this way anyway. I really wanted to try to make sure that it would fall, you know, this way to the left or to the right of that tree. I just didn't want it to get tangled up in that other one, so this is good enough. She's down, let's get it bucked up. Oh, yes sir, that's the biggest one down, and this is the one that I said earlier was real pithy on the outside, but look at that, we still got 16-18 inches of good heartwood. Good deal. All right, well, the first load's on. Like I said, I don't know how big these things are, so I don't want to overdo it. I think everything that's left is just one more load, but we got one more log out of this tree that we put on the trailer, and we said that's it, that's good. I'm gonna have Chuck push this one forward about another 8 inches. Just that's that long 21 foot. My trailer's only 20, but he doesn't quite have it shoved all the way forward. So that's a load on that one. And then we've got, these are all smaller as far as the length. They're 9.5 feet, something like that. But this one and this one came out of this tree here, and then these 3 came out of that big dead one. Well, they were all dead. The one that'd been dead standing in the longest for about 2 years. But yeah, you can see, I mean, it's pithy. The sapwood's all bad, but the core of it is just pristine. So that's really exciting. That's good. That's a good size post oak for me anyway. So that one's 9.5, and then this one I didn't even measure, but I just took it. It's that crotch there is going to maybe do some figuring on the boards, but honestly I'll probably knock it down. I'll probably end up, you know, knocking it off about there and there somewhere, and just have a little, you know, 5 or 6 foot log. But excuse me, couldn't decide if I wanted to yawn or burp. But yeah, same thing. You can see, I mean, the heartwood on it, that's cool. You can see the branch there and there, so there'll be some fun figuring here. But yeah, the heartwood's just solid as can be, so that's really cool. I'm really excited about this. So yeah, whole pile of post oak here. I've been here today since, I don't know, maybe 2 hours. It's 4 o'clock now, and I got here and got started maybe around 2 o'clock at the earliest. Heck, it was yeah, it was 1:30 when I left the house. So yeah, cool. 2 hours worth of dropping trees and bucking them up, and I get all these logs for, you know, quote, free. So anyway, I don't know if I'll make any video when I get them home, but I've got to get them home, jerk them all off the trailer. I'll be back here in the morning. I've got to do a beekeeping class here at the same location, so I'll bring the trailer back with me. Chuck will load the logs on the trailer while I'm teaching class, and then we'll take them home from there. It's all working out. Super excited. Well, I just figured I'd brag a little bit, show you guys. Here's the second load and the remainder of the post oaks from Knox Farm and Feed. So this was this log, and I think there was one more that was out of that big tree kind of in the middle of everything that had just died, and this one was out of that tree. And this is actually just there's a crotch, and I kept this piece because it's multiple crotches. So there's a crotch section here, and then there's a little short that straightens out a little bit, and then there's a knot that's coming off of here, and then another crotch. So there might be some really cool figuring in underneath of this. So I took that one just to slab it out and see what I get out of those crotch pieces. This was that little one that was right behind the store that I said, you know, probably wasn't really anything in it, probably wasn't worth taking. But once we got it on the ground, I measured it's about 12 inches, and it's got a little bend to it, but I think I can get at least a couple of boards out of it that it'd be a decent little log anyway. So I went ahead and took it. And then those 3, those are all out of the biggest one that's been dead for 2 years. So again, you can see You know, it's got some punky, the sapwood's all punky, but it's got a really good core on it that's still really solid. So really, really excited about that. But I got the other one snatched off the trailer this morning. There's a couple hiding over there and a couple over there. They just kind of landed where they did because I was in a hurry, so I drug them off and dropped them. But I'm gonna get it all off here and get it all piled up together and sorted. And I'm really looking forward to getting some of this on the mill real soon, because I need to start milling more. I've been installing, thinking I'm going to pour a concrete pad, and realistically, I just need to start milling and finding a place to put this wood. If I get a big stockpile of wood everywhere that's kind of aggravating me, then it'll be that much more incentive to go ahead and get a decent drying shed built. So, yeah, I'm really excited to get this stuff on the mill and get to work.